Good morning, children. I am Sashagiri Rao, your social studies teacher from Dr. Bison School. Children, welcome to Dr. Bison School through digital learning program. Children, last time we were learning the lesson, the natural realms of the earth. There we learned four natural realms of the earth. They are lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere. In that lesson, we learned lithosphere and different forms of landforms like first order landforms, second order landforms, and third order landforms. Okay, children, we learned lithosphere there. Today in this lesson, we will learn hydrosphere. Okay, children, hydrosphere. Children, we know that the sphere of water or the realm of water is called hydrosphere. Children, we observe rain falls every year, and after rain falls, water flows on the ground. Where does this water go? We need to answer. And in the amount of rainfall, only less than 1% of water that reaches the ground is useful for the human beings. Where does the remaining water go? So these are all the questions to be solved, and there are many amazing facts here in this lesson also. Which it is so interesting lesson. So let us start this lesson. So we will start this lesson with understanding hydrological cycle. Simply, children, we learnt water cycle in the previous classes. Now it is called as hydrological cycle. Children, the study of water is called hydrology. Hydrology. The study of water is called hydrology. Whenever a word starts with hydro, means connected to water. Hydro means connected to water. Hydrosphere, the sphere of water. Hydrological cycle, the cycle of water. Okay, children, hydro means connected with water. The study of water is called hydrology. Okay, children. Children, water is a resource for us. From dawn to dusk, we use water in different forms and different ways. We use the water for satisfying our different purposes even. We cannot estimate our life without water. We know that all this. We all learned these things in our previous classes. Now, water is a cyclic resource. Cycle that water moves from oceans to the land and from land to the ocean. We will learn how it is also. Okay, children? Water reaches from ocean to atmosphere, then on to the land, then from land to the ocean. So this is a cyclic process, and water is having different phases also. Like we have water in liquid stage and solid state and gaseous state also. In the liquid state, water. In the gaseous state, water vapor. In solid state, it is ice. Okay, children? And let us see the 6 stages of hydrological cycle. They are water cycle. First of all, water in the oceans and other water bodies evaporates. That is the first one, evaporation. And after evaporates, water reaches the atmosphere. So water is transported from water bodies to atmosphere. This is called transportation. First one is evaporation, second one is transportation. So after reaching the water vapor in the atmosphere, there water vapor again condenses. That means converts into water droplets. That is called condensation. Okay, children. Then after condensation takes place, the water vapor, that means water falls on the ground, which is called precipitation. And after water falls on the ground, water flows, which is called runoff. And some amount of water reaches the ground, which is called underground water. These are the 6 stages. Let us see, children. What is the first one? Evaporation. Second one, transportation. Third one, condensation. Fourth one, precipitation. Fifth one, runoff. And sixth one, groundwater. So these are the 6 stages of water cycle or hydrological cycle. What are they? Evaporation, transportation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, and groundwater. Let us learn these 6 terms individually. First, let us start with evaporation. Children, we know that the conversion of water into vapor is called evaporation. That means whenever or wherever water bodies are found, in such areas evaporation takes place. Where is water found? Water is found in the oceans, rivers, lakes, ponds, and other water bodies also. Okay, children? And even from wetlands, evaporation takes place. You know how much temperature is needed to evaporate the water? It is not like 100 degrees centigrade, children. At 100 degrees centigrade, water boils, but not for evaporation. We need not to have 100 degrees centigrade. At normal temperature conditions, water evaporates. Take a glass of water, spill on the ground, and observe after some hours or the next day, you may not find water on the ground. It evaporates. That means, is a ground getting 100 degrees centigrade? Not at all. In the normal temperature conditions, water evaporates. Okay, children? The process of converting the water into vapor is called evaporation. So evaporation takes place in water bodies and wetlands. That is called, first one is evaporation. Second one, transportation. After water converts into vapor, it becomes lighter. So it rises into the atmosphere along with the air currents, upper air currents. Okay, children? Water moves. It reaches into the atmosphere. So the reaching of water vapor into the atmosphere is called transportation. It is moving. It is called transportation. And there it joins with the clouds. Okay, children? Third one, condensation. Children, whenever water vapor reaches the atmosphere, and after the atmosphere has more amount of water vapor, and still the air rising and rising, at any given point of time, suddenly the temperature may reduce. We know that when we go high into the atmosphere, temperature reduces. Whenever temperature reduces, air doesn't have the capacity to hold more amount of water vapor which already it absorbed. Okay, children? Now, water vapor converts into water droplets. We know that whenever water converts into water vapor, the molecules move apart each other. They occupy more space. Now, these molecules come together. That means when they come together, they are called dense. So, the molecules coming together in the way of dense is called condensation. So molecules become closer and they convert into water droplets. That process of converting water vapor into water droplets is called condensation. Okay, children? Air can hold the water vapor, but it cannot hold water droplets. That means water. And it immediately drops onto the atmosphere. That is called precipitation. Fourth one, precipitation. Precipitation is in different forms depending on the temperature of the atmosphere at a given time. So precipitation can be like rainfall, snowfall, fog, and different forms also. Sometimes we observe hailstones also during the summer rainfall. Hailstones, like ice cubes fall on from the atmosphere onto the ground. So that is called a hailstone. These are all different forms are called precipitation. Anyway, the main and useful form of the precipitation is rainfall. Okay, children? So the fourth stage is precipitation. And after the rain falls on the ground, water flows on the ground, which is called runoff. Water flows on the ground in the way of small streams, tributaries, and rivers. Water flows on the ground, which is called runoff. And some amount of water percolates in the ground, that means reaches into the ground also. And sixth is groundwater. Groundwater. Okay, children? And after reaching the water into the ground, it stays there in the way of a table of water, which is called groundwater. Children, these are the 6 stages of a water cycle. Once again, let us have a look on this: evaporation, transportation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, and groundwater. These are the 6 stages of water cycle. Okay, children? I hope you understood all this. And children, look here. Picture given in page number 28 of your textbook to understand these different stages. Have a look on this. Next, water resources. Water resources. Children, we already learned water is a resource. So let us see how water is available in different forms, like how much amount of water is available in oceans and groundwater and fresh water, like that. If you observe, 97.25% of water is saline. Saline means salt water that is found in oceans and seas. 97.25% of water is saline water. So the major portion amount of water is only salt water. Only 2.75% of amount of water is only fresh water. That is remaining. See how much less amount of water is available in the way of fresh water for us. Okay, children? If you observe, within this 2.75% of water, 68.7% of water is found in the way of ice caps and snow cover. Ice caps and snow cover. Where do you find these ice caps and snow? In Antarctica region, Arctic region, and high mountains. See again, in the fresh water, large amount of water is found in the way of ice caps and snow only. And 29.9% of water is found in underground water, groundwater. Okay, children? See, 29.9% water again in groundwater, which is a resource for again. Only 0.26% of water is found in rivers, dams, and lakes, etc. And this is accessible for us. And this amount of water is sufficient for us. Anyway, we are not only using the surface water which is in the rivers, dams, and lakes, and we are using groundwater also nowadays. Almost in urban areas, in affordable families, most the families are having their own borewell. Okay, children? So we are earlier we used to use only water which is in the surface, like rivers, dams, and lakes, but nowadays we are using water, groundwater. Even in governments, in some governments, they are giving subsidies and sometimes free electricity also for the farmers to dig the bore wells and extract the water to irrigate their agriculture land. So in this way, nowadays the groundwater amount is reducing drastically. Okay, children? So these are water resources. Okay, children? And this very less than 1% of water is sufficient for human beings, but in this again, the water which is in the rivers is flowing and joining in the oceans. Okay, children? Let us say first oceans. Oceans. What are oceans? Oceans are nothing but the large saltwater bodies are called as oceans. Earlier, geographers have identified five major oceans. Okay, children, they are the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, and Antarctic Ocean. Sometimes we use the word seas interchangeably with oceans. Okay, children, that means to use the oceans, sometimes we use the seas. That means we are using oceans and seas as synonyms. If you observe the seas are the saltwater bodies which are enclosed partially or fully enclosed by lands. Based on the land parts, continents and archipelagos and other physical features, these seas are identified. So these oceans are identified. We know that earlier we had only one supercontinent, Pangaea, and one super ocean that is called Panthalassa. What is that? Panthalassa. 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 Only one ocean. Whenever these continents started moving, and that means tectonic plates started moving, and the gaps are filled with this ocean water, and different oceans are formed in this way. Okay, children. So let us see what are these oceans. Five oceans. They are the Pacific Ocean, the Pacific Ocean. Second one is the Atlantic Ocean. Third one, the Indian Ocean. Fourth one, the Arctic Ocean. Fifth one, the Antarctic Ocean. Children, these are the oceans in descending order. The largest one is the Pacific Ocean. Second one is the Atlantic. The third one is the Indian. Fourth one is the Arctic, and fifth one is Antarctic. Sometimes the Antarctic Ocean is also called as Southern Ocean. Let us see all these on a world map. Children, these are the locations of five oceans. Pacific Ocean is toward the east of Asian continent and to the west of American continents. Means two Americans, North America and South America. Okay, children. Second one is Atlantic Ocean, which is in between America and Europe and Africa. Third one is Indian Ocean, which is to the south of India. And fourth one is Arctic Ocean here, which is towards the north of North Africa and to the north of Eurasian part. And Antarctic Ocean, they are the southern parts of the Pacific, the Atlantic and Indian Ocean, which is surrounding Antarctic Ocean. Okay, children, here we can understand very clearly these are the oceans which are interconnected with each other. They are not at all separated. Okay, children. So we can see their locations. First of all, we try to understand the Pacific Ocean. As we know that Pacific Ocean is toward the east of Asian continent. It separates Asian continent and Oceania. Oceania is nothing but which is included Australia, New Zealand and Papua New Guinea island. These are called, and the other islands are called as Oceania. So the Pacific Ocean separating Asia and Oceania from America. America is this. So we can understand the better from globe. Look here, children. This is Asian continent and Oceania is here. Asia and Oceania. And you observe the other side, we have American continents. North America and South America. So in between North America and South America and Asia and Oceania. This ocean is the Pacific Ocean, the largest ocean, Pacific Ocean. Okay, children. And we learned that whenever Ferdinand Magellan was moving from Atlantic Ocean, he experienced a lot of disturbances, sounds in this. And whenever he entered into the Pacific Ocean, as it is so calm, he named it the Pacific. In their language, the Pacific means so calm. Okay, children? And that is the Pacific Ocean, which is in a triangular shape, largest ocean. And second ocean is Atlantic Ocean, which is S in shape here. S. It is in between America and America means North America and South America, and Europe and Africa. This is Asian shape. This is Atlantic Ocean. It is also called as herring pond. Okay, children. And third one is Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean washes Indian subcontinent, and it is in a M in shape, like this, M in shape, and separates Africa and Australia. Indian third largest ocean. The only ocean which is named after a country, India, Indian Ocean. Okay, children. And fourth one is Arctic Ocean. You see, it is in the north part. It is sometimes called as Arctic Sea also. As it is smaller in size when compared with other oceans. It is towards the north part of North America and Europe and Asia. That is Eurasia. This is Arctic Ocean. Okay, children. And fifth one is Antarctic Ocean, which is also called as Southern Ocean, which is in southern side only. And sometimes it is considered as the water body of southern parts of the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and Indian Ocean, which is around the Antarctic Ocean. Sorry, Antarctic continent. So this is called Antarctic Ocean or Southern Ocean. These are the 5 oceans. Children, it is amazing that we have plateaus, plains, mountains, and valleys on Earth's surface. Similar physical features are also found on seabed. That means under the water, when you go deep into the water, you can find the seabed. That means land part there again. Okay, children, on this land part, seabed, we can find mountains, valleys, plains, and plateaus also. And the first expeditions were conducted by the British explorer into the seabed. His name was Challenger. With the person Challenger, people were trying to understand the ocean bed even. Okay, children, this is so far for today's lesson. We will continue this lesson tomorrow. Children, let us recall what we learned so far today. We try to understand what is water cycle and what are the different stages of water cycle, and we try to understand oceans. Okay, children, and how much amount of water is available in different forms, like how much amount is available in salt water, how much is fresh water, how much there in groundwater, and all this. Okay, to understand this better, it in the table provided in the page number 28 also. Look here, children. Okay, children, and we have seen the 5 different oceans also, and the location of these 5 different oceans also. Thank you, children. Have a happy learning.